Welcome to my tutoring channel. This is Mr. Peña. If you want to learn English with me, grab my free my free 10-day guide to mastering English grammar. If you take 15 minutes a day for the next 2 weeks to read through my manual, you will get a taste of the English language, and you'll be able to master one of the fundamental aspects in just 2 weeks. You can get this guide for free clicking on the link down below, which is my Patreon. You join the free version and you get access to downloadable resources, exclusive content, and an invitation to my private WhatsApp community. Take all of that as a way of me saying thank you for joining my Patreon. I hope to see you there, as I'm looking for more students who want to learn the English language. Now let's get on to today's question. This is CASAS Reading Practice, Part 4 of the series. We have an online news editorial. Any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer them as soon as possible. Online news editorial. Technology at school. We have news, feature, sports, blogs, opinion. This is an editorial. To the editor. I applaud the recent decision by our school board to ban mobile devices from schools. Our society is plagued by an epidemic of teens and children spending too much time on their phones and tablets watching videos and playing games. Eliminating these personal mobile devices on school grounds is important to safeguard the well-being of our youth. Recent research studies have shown that heavy use of mobile devices can have significant effects on brain function. Our youth are too often glued to their screens, even during class time. Their use is not only disruptive during classes, but also hampers the ability for all students to learn. If children continue to use mobile devices in these ways, their ability to think critically and engage with their surroundings in a healthy way will be compromised. Therefore, I strongly approve of the school board's bold recent action. Sincerely, Rosina Smith. To the editor. I am a psychologist at Scoville University, and I believe that the school board's recent decision to ban personal mobile devices from the schools is misguided. Many of those in favor of this ban argue that using mobile devices causes a decline in brain functioning. While excessive use can exacerbate learning difficulties, these arguments overlook the changing educational landscape of our schools. Proponents of a technology ban continually cite the fact that children spend 30% of their waking hours using mobile devices. However, interpreting this as solely negative is misleading, because this number includes instruction in school that uses these devices. If children cannot bring or use these types of devices at school, then they may fall behind their peers at other learning institutions. In the end, this could do more harm than good. Best regards, Dr. Gregory Castillo. So here we have Rosina Smith, who wrote this half of the paper. And then we have Dr. Gregory Castillo, who wrote the right half of the paper. you have two different opinions about mobile devices. So let's get on to the questions. Number 12. Rosina Smith supports her claims by giving her opinion, referring to research, quoting famous psychologists, describing personal experiences. Let's see. It says, recent research studies have shown that heavy use of mobile devices can have significant effects on brain function. Okay. And it says, our society is plagued by an epidemic of teens and children spending too much time on their phones and tablets watching videos and playing games. Now, this might look like an opinion, which it kind of is, but it is an argument, a strong opinion, backed by evidence, meaning she cites research. So, she is referring to research. Number 12 is B. Rosina Smith does refer to research. Now we have number 13. And feel free to pause the video and try to answer the questions. And when you finish answering the questions, then go back and play the video and let's review everything. You can hear me read it and try to answer the questions, pause the video, and then when you finish, go ahead and play it. Now, number 13. In paragraph 1, Rosina Smith uses the words plague and epidemic to give a sense of widespread urgency to this issue. Keyword urgency. Stress that mobile devices have restricted use. Show mobile devices cause disease in children. Liken the use of mobile devices to other addictions. Okay, so it says this is important to safeguard the well-being of our youth. Safeguard the well-being of our youth. So this does give you a sense of urgency, right? So it doesn't say it causes, I don't see the word disease. I don't see the word addiction, and it doesn't really say restricted use. It says eliminating. So, the answer is A. Give a sense of widespread urgency to the issue. Urgency is like an emergency. It has to happen. We have to fix it. Number 14. The most likely reason Dr. Castillo mentions his occupation is to imply that he extensively uses mobile devices at the university, understands mobile devices more than most people do, should have been consulted about the mobile device ban, is qualified to judge the effects of using mobile devices. So Dr. Castillo is the man on the right. He says, I am a psychologist at Scoville University. And then he gives his opinion. And so he states his arguments by giving statistics. So he mentions his occupation, the fact that he's a psychologist, in order to show that he is qualified to judge the effects of mobile devices. because it says, I'm a psychologist and I believe that the school board's recent decision, and then he gives his opinion on the decision. So that's why he gives his occupation. Number 15. Dr. Castillo bases his argument on the fact that A, institutions do not have much access to mobile devices. B, schools do not have the power to regulate mobile devices. C, several reports show the dangers of overusing mobile devices. Or D, people misunderstand the ways youth use mobile devices. And what does he base his argument? Which fact is he talking about? It says, if children cannot bring or use these types of devices at school, they may fall behind their peers at other learning institutions. It says, these arguments overlook the changing educational landscape of our schools. It says, 30% of their waking hour is used using mobile devices. But this is misleading because it includes instruction. Look where I'm highlighting in green. Includes instruction in school that uses these devices. So the statistics that show that children use too much cell phone, they're also including the positive use of the cell phone. When they use it in school, they're in class to learn. So his main argument is addressing a misconception. He's saying that the 30% is misleading. Therefore, people misunderstand the ways youth use mobile devices because they also use apps for learning. They use apps for productivity purposes. It's a part of the school curriculum. Now, number 16. Dr. Castillo's main point is that mobile devices are causing attention issues in youth. Banning mobile devices will hurt student learning. There is no evidence that mobile devices are harmful. Schools should avoid using mobile devices in class. Let's look at it can be A, because that is the argument of the first article. He talks about student learning. And schools should avoid using mobile devices in class. No, he doesn't say that. He says quite the opposite. He says they should. He says it might be there's no evidence that mobile devices are harmful. He does say excessive use can exacerbate learning difficulties. It can. These arguments overlook the changing landscape of our schools. His main point is that if children cannot bring or use these types of devices at school, they may fall behind their peers at other learning institutions. So, banning mobile devices will hurt student learning because they're going to fall behind their peers. So 16 is B. I hope that this reading activity has helped you with your English and to prepare for the CASAS test. If you want extra practice with me and you want extra time in order to devote to learning English, join my Patreon community. You will get access to exclusive content such as this, like study guides, downloadable resources, and an invitation to my private WhatsApp group, where we have a voice call every single day to practice our English conversations. I hope to see you in the Patreon community, where we can further your learning journey and study for the CASAS test together. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Much prosperity and peace to you and your family.